everyone, and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin, and today I have a real treat for you. I'm going to start a campaign of Sleeping Gods. Now here's the thing. First of all, huge spoilers in this game. I do not recommend you watch pretty much any of this if you're planning on playing this on your own and you do not want to have spoilers. So this is really for people that maybe are thinking they're not going to even pick up the game, but they'd like to see how the game plays, or for people that just are here for the journey, because this is all about the journey. Second of all, I have actually already played this full game one time with Bairnt. Bairnt and I just played it on our own. We played an entire campaign, had a great time. So I'm going to be playing my second campaign. That means I have some updated quest cards. I will also be taking into account everything we learned from that first time that we played. I'll also share with you the different totems that we have found. And because we've played the campaign one time, we have some additional rules that we can put into effect for this game, which I'm going to do. So tons of spoilers, tons of new things. I just want to make sure that you're okay watching this. Okay, you're still here? Well, I appreciate you, and I'm really excited to go on this journey with you. I'm going to be completely honest when I say this in the last 3 years has probably been my favorite game that I've played. At least. Maybe even longer than 3 years. I absolutely love this game. Ryan has knocked it out of the park, and I just cannot wait to show you, and I cannot wait to experience this game with you. There is one other thing I want to mention, and that is Bairnt, who I played this first campaign with. He's actually going to be recording his second campaign as well, but we're not going to watch each other's videos, and we're going to release them around the same time, and we're going to do our own things. And then at the end of it, we're going to see and compare where we went and the different things that we experienced. So I highly recommend, if you enjoy watching my playthrough, make sure to check out his, or heck, don't even watch mine, just watch his, because I'm sure he's going to destroy me. Or you can tell me in the comments about how much better I'm doing than him. Yeah, let's hope that that's the case. Okay, without further ado, we're going to do a very light, quick setup. I'm going to show you some of the additional changes that we have since we've completed one campaign, and then we're going to jump in. The goal in this game is very simple. You're trying to find totems. You're trying to find as many as you can in the time that it takes you to go through 3 event decks, each which have 18 cards in it. So essentially 18 times 3 is how many rounds you'll have, assuming you don't die. At the end of that, then you have a specific ending. We had ending number 6. We found the Gatestone, the Mikra's Salt. We found the Nightmare Stone. We found the Stone of Deceit, the Stone of Earthquakes, the Stone of Undeath, the Stone of Storms, and the Stone of Squids. Look at all of these ones we haven't found. Oh my gosh, I love it. We also didn't play with the Dungeons expansion. So that's something I definitely want to delve into while I'm doing our playthrough. And Bairnt probably will too, so hopefully we'll find a different dungeon than he does. But depending on how many totems we have found and how many different endings we've had, we get to unlock certain cards. So if you look down here, we've unlocked quests 171, 172, 169, 170, and 168, because we found a total of 8 totems, plus we've had 1 ending, so that's a total of 9. Quest cards 171 and 172 provide us with a cargo bay. This is an optional rule. I am going to play with this one. When setting up the game, you may choose to add the cargo bay room to the ship. Place it on the shipboard. It's another ship action. When you use it, you gain 3 command. You also draw 6 ability cards, choose 2 of them, and discard the other 4. The cargo bay cannot take ship damage and cannot be disabled by damage. Quest cards 169 and 170, we have the Expert Port. We're also going to play with this one. At the start of a new campaign, you may choose to play with this variant. Instead of the standard port, use the Export or the Expert Port each time you visit the port. First, gain 1 grain token for free. The inn restores only 1 health per crew member instead of the 2, but costs only 3 coins to use. You may now pay a set of exactly 2 artifacts at a port to gain 3 experience and 3 coins. And if you play with this variant for the entire campaign, you can add 15 points to your end score. So I'd just like to show you the difference between the regular port and the expert port. You can see it costs a little cheaper. We actually are going to gain some grain, but then we don't get as nice of an ability. We're only healing 1 health for each crew member. We can still do the shipyard. The healer, it looks like we can still do the healer, but we now have a collector ability. We can also do our spending XP. So definitely going to do this one. Our third and final variant that we can include is Deadly Combat. I'm actually not going to include this one, and the biggest reason is I think it would add a challenge, and if I wasn't playing on camera, I think it'd be great, but on camera, it's already hard enough to do everything, and so adding additional abilities for our enemies, I feel like this is not going to add value as you watch the videos. It's only going to make combat longer, and although combat is cool, that's not really what's important of the game. But let me at least explain this. So at the start of the new campaign, you may choose to play with this variant. Each combat, randomly choose one enemy card, tuck this card beneath that enemy card, so now it has +2 damage, and it regenerates 1 health. You can't ever block these, and just like the port variant, you gain 15 points at the end if you use it for the entire campaign. We're not going to use that one, we're just going to play with the port. Here we have our shipboard. Now, something that I'm not entirely sure on, I'm going to try and look this up quick. If I put the cargo bay here, does it block off the sick bay? I don't think it does, but the picture kind of blocks it off, and heck, the picture kind of blocks off the hull, and it blocks off the deck. So I might take a look quick. I don't think that would make sense. It would block all of that, but the art does match. So if you put it there, yeah, I'll have to look that one up. Needless to say, I've already set up our event deck. I have 6 of the perilous events, 6 of the medium level events, and 6 of the calmer events. We have those in order, 6 of each. And once we go through that, we'll have our first end event, then we'll go through a second set of these, we'll pull out more, 6 of each again, and at the end of that we'll read story 1.2, and then the third time we'll go to the finale. Well, fortunately, I'm not the only one that had this question. Looked it up and confirmed this goes to the side of the board, not on here, so it's just an additional action that we can take. I also have all of my exploration tokens. I've shuffled those up. If I do ever go to the bay, I can reveal 1 to 3 of them and gain the benefit of 1 of them and any of the detriments of all of them that I flip. We always start off with our 4 adventure cards. Gloria Walker, you can spend a command to go ahead and draw 2 ability cards. You can use this one to redraw Fate. You can use this one to use 3 of any type of food. You've got grain, meat, or vegetables to remove 3 fatigue and get rid of up to 1 of our low morale. You can also make some flapjacks. That costs 3 wheat, and you can remove 3 fatigue and 3 health. We have our market cards here that I've shuffled up. We have our ability cards here that I've shuffled up. And then we have our level cards here that I have not shuffled up. I will leave those face up, and throughout the game as we earn XP, we can use that XP to gain these permanently for the rest of the campaign. Something that they don't tell you when you first start playing the game, any of your ability cards are only temporary. After you go through the event deck, you have to discard all of them and all of your characters. However, these will stay on for the rest of the campaign, which I love those. So what we get to do at the beginning is we'll gain 1 command token, and we get to draw 1 ability card. And you do that at a per player level. So since I'm only playing solo, I will only grab 1 of those, not 9 because there's 9 characters. We have Rapid Strike. Even if this crew member misses, they deal their damage first. Kind of cool. It cost us 2 command to slot that underneath 1 of our characters. The first time through the campaign, they require that you go through an intro scenario that's about 2 to 3 turns long. You gain both of these quest cards. We're not going to do that here because we've already done that once. No need to do that again, but we have confirmed through the FAQ that we do get to start with both of these quests. Now I'm going to tell you, we've already finished the cottage quest. So I'm not even going to worry about that one. The one Bairnt and I didn't do was the raid. So that's something that we could potentially look at doing right off the bat. I have all 9 of my characters out on the table. I have them spread out. We'll look at them all very quickly, and then I think we're ready to start. We've got Audrey and Mac, and what I have to say about the game is you really get to know your characters, and I love that. I think that's why he makes you play with 9, because it can be a little bit overwhelming solo. I'm assuming 2-player was still overwhelming to have a total of 9 characters you're playing with, but certain things happen because of them, and you really get to know their personality. Gosh, at the end of the one that we did, the ending with Raphael, oh my gosh, something big happened with him. Here we have Marco and Captain Odessa. Now, whenever you're playing cooperatively, whoever's the active player can always use Captain Odessa, but since we're playing solo, we can use any of our characters at any time. Here we have Colin. He has one of the best weapons. I think Captain Odessa is the only one that does more damage. Initially, he has the pistol and it's ranged. We have Kasumi here. I love her weapon because she has +2 accuracy. That makes her better at hitting and deals 3 damage. Not great for block, but that's pretty nice. And I should mention, I'm not going through all of them, but they all have specific abilities that we might need to use while we're exploring. They also have abilities where we can use command and activate them. So like this one, we can add +1 accuracy. That's only to Colin, but we could spend 2 command to give +1 accuracy on his pistol shot. So I haven't decided if I'm going to tell you about our spoiler on Raphael. If you want to know, let me know in the comments, and maybe next video I'll tell you. But yeah, it was big. And then we have Laurent over here. I really like both of them, except for Laurent's club is pretty pathetic. +0 on accuracy, yeah, makes him, he's not great with the club. And finally, we have Gregory. He's somewhat of our healer. I do want to mention, you'll see that we all also have this token on here. That's our synergy token. During combat, we can potentially give those to other players or other characters who they can use them for their special abilities. I am sure you'll see that as we go through the playthrough. Okay, I think we've done enough setup. Let's go ahead and jump in. Here we have our map from the previous campaign that I've played. Now you're going to see we spent most of our time in this area. We delved a little bit down here, and that's from the expansion. I should mention I have everything for this game. Just in case we do want to try and track this one down, we have raids on Last Hope. Mac told us a rumor about rat creatures attacking a fishing village northeast of the Zakira trading post. The village may not survive the attacks much longer and needs urgent help. So the question is, do we want to do that, or do we want to explore somewhere else? Oh, man, they need urgent help. I don't know how I can leave that alone. Turns in this game are super fast. We have ship actions, so you get to choose one place on the ship to go. Don't forget we have our cargo bay. Let's say we went here, we would activate this, gain 2 command, and then we could gain up to 3 of those adventure tokens, gaining all the bad effects but any good effects. After that, then we draw and resolve an event card, and then we can do 2 actions. We can either try and travel, explore, go to a market, or go to a port. So I think, actually, with what we have here, why the heck not? Let's go to the cargo bay to start off with. I've never used it, so let's use it now. It's going to gain us 3 command. So we're starting off with 1 command. So adding the 3 means we have a total of 4 beautiful command. I love that. Then we're going to draw 6 of these adventure cards, and we get to keep 2 of them. Our total hand size for adventure cards is 3, so that means our hand will be totally full at 3 cards in total. Now these cards are somewhat multi-use. We can spend command equal to what's on that top right there, and then we can slot this in on one of our characters, and they will have, first of all, the ability, and second of all, an additional stat of that specific type. So this would be a strength stat. Let's see what we get. We get to draw 6 of them. So our first one is Engine Steward. Our second one is Special Recipe. Our third one is Coordinated Repair. Our fourth one, Lessons. Our fifth one, Dodge. Oh my gosh. And sixth one, so many. Another Rapid Strike. We already have a Rapid Strike. I think the 2 that I'm going to keep are the Special Recipe and the Engine's Steward. So this one, if I slot it on any of our characters, it costs us only one command. It'll give us +1 to our crafting for that specific character. When you cook a recipe, also restore 1 health. Nice. Over here we have Engine Steward. That'll help our perception. Discard this equipped card to repair 2. Also, I should mention, anytime we do a test in this game, when we do that test, we're going to draw Fate. We're going to draw the top card of our Fate deck. This number is how much we add to that test. So if you slot higher Fate cards, it means that you have less of those higher ones in your deck. So if I do decide to slot this, that means I have 1 less 5 in the deck. I do think I'm going to spend 1 command to do this. So I'm going to spend 1 command, and I'm going to slot this Special Recipe under Audrey. That means now she has 2 craft symbols, so if we decide to use her for a craft test, which includes potentially traveling, we'll get to add 2 to our total test value. However, we're going to have to exhaust her, putting a fatigue token on her. The first one doesn't do much, but the second one, we put this on her. First of all, her combat attack strength, so you can see here it's a 2. It's actually 2 minus 1. Second of all, we can't use her again until we remove fatigue. We always remove the 2-point the second one first, and the first one you put on there second. And you don't have to use them for traveling, but I do like her to have 2 craft. Also, since I just used this command to slot this, I'll put this back into the supply. That's important because command is limited. So if ever there's no command in the supply for me to gain, and I'm supposed to gain any, I just don't. If, let's say, I was using her special ability, and I decided to use 2 of these to repair one, well, those stay on her board, and I have to do an action from the ship to gain those, or to take those off of her board. Now we have to draw and resolve an event. So let's go ahead and flip it over. We have crashed airship. Oh, you find a Lucrum airship stuck on some rocks. We can either search the airship, draw 2 search tokens and choose one, apply the effects, then discard the tokens, or just leave the airship. Draw fate. If 1 to 2, gain 1 low morale. No, we're not going to leave that. That could be really cool. So draw 2 search tokens and choose one, apply the effects, then discard the token. Here are our search tokens. Let's draw our first one. That one would give us 2 vegetables, and our second one would give us a meat and 1 point of ship damage. Well, I think that's safe to say. In that airship, we totally found 2 vegetables. So I'll put that onto our shipboard. We now can use that at any time to do a recipe or maybe as a cost for something, but I like it. Now let's move to our 2 action step of our turn. We can either travel. That just means depending upon our crafts test, we can see how far we can travel. We can explore. That's just reading something from the adventure book. We can go to the market. That would mean we draw 7 cards from the market deck, and then we can purchase any that we are able. We have no money right now. I'm assuming that we start off with nothing on this second play. I think we had something the last time, but I think that's from that intro scenario that we're not doing. And then finally, we could go to the port, and you saw all those port actions before. I think the first thing we're going to do is travel. Now, many of you know I was not a huge fan of Seventh Continent. I did a playthrough of it, and then I immediately got rid of it. It was not my type of game. One of the things that it had me do, which I didn't really like, was having to look really detailed at the art and trying to find footprints and stuff like that. I totally missed it. This game, though, I also need to look at the art, but for some reason, I don't mind it. I don't know why. Maybe things are easier to see, or, I mean, Seventh Continent looks great, too. But for whatever reason, I love that in this game. And maybe now if I played Seventh Continent, that would change. Maybe it was just the time of my life. But our raids on the Last Hope, I think I am going to start working on that quest first. We need to find a fishing village that's northeast of Zakura's trading post. So Zakura's trading post is here. I know from the other one that cottage is up here. So that's that other one, the Annie's Cottage quest, which we didn't even read because that's the one that we completed. That one is by a bridge, which you can see the bridge here, that's north of Zakura's trading post. So what I'm thinking is that this actual town is right there. That looks like a fishing town, right? So I need to move from here to here to be able to go and check this out and explore it. Now, there's a rock here, so I'm not going to be able to move straight across. I need to get 2 movement to get into here, and when I do, I have to deal with a 5 strength test, otherwise our ship will take a point of damage. So my first action is going to be this turn, a travel action. Now, I can choose to use one of my characters or not, and I think for this time I'm going to. I powered up Audrey. Whenever you do that travel action, you're doing a test of craft. As you can see here, her total craft is 2. So I'm going to place 1 fatigue token on her, flip over one of these, 4, 5, 6. So we got a total test value of 6. Now, if we look at this chart, a 4 through a 6 means we can move a total of 2 spaces. If we'd gotten a 7 or an 8, we could have actually moved 3. But I only needed to move 2, so that's perfect. Spaces are separated between these white dotted lines and the actual binder itself. So I can choose which way I want to go. I could go 1, 2 or 1, 2. I think our boat's going to slide between these rocks because, you know, we are experts at this point. We've already played the game once, and we'll move ourselves over here. That does mean, though, we now need to do a strength 5 check. If we fail, the ship takes 1 damage. I'm not going to use anyone for this one. I'm just going to draw fate. If I happen to get a 5 or a 6, I pass. If not, the ship can take a damage. We're hoping for a 5 or a 6, and we get a 4. Ooh, we could still try and redraw fate, or you know what I could do? I could spend 2 out of my 3 command to add +1 to our fate draw. That would get us at 5. If we were equal, we'd take no ship damage. I don't think that's worth it. We're just going to soak the ship damage. So the lightning roughed up our ship a little bit. We'll draw a fate card to determine where in spot 2. There's numbers all across the board. You can see this 2 here. That tells us the deck has taken 1 point of damage. Damage in itself isn't terrible, but if we fill up the whole board of the ship with damage, then our ship is destroyed. We then, since we're playing on normal, I should have mentioned that, we would then go back to the closest port, we'd heal up the ship in full, and then discard the next 6 event cards, basically losing time of the campaign. Not fun, so we don't want to have that happen. The other thing is, if ever one spot has 2 damage tokens on it, we can no longer go there for its action. So the deck is slightly damaged, I'll deal with it. That was our first action. Let's go ahead and check out 63. We will do an explore action by reading number 63 from the adventure book. We can see here for 63 it says if keyword raid, turn to 56. Well, we most definitely have that, and if you've watched any other playthroughs, my guess is they have too. Let's go to 56. You spot a village on the coast, a small settlement nestled against a pine forest. Smoke billows from the roofs of a few of the huts, and the wind carries with it a faint scream. Ooh. These forests are infested with rat creatures, says Mac. We can either A, watch from the safety of the ship, or B, land at the town's pier. Yeah, I'm definitely landing at the town's pier. I'm going to go check this out. Rats the size of humans, their fur slick and oily, rung among the village huts, wielding savage tools. Some of the villagers fight the rats with wood axes, while more rat creatures prance with glee near the village edge, lighting straw roofs with torches. We could either A, hurry to put out the fires, that's a strength 7 check, or we could B, fight the rats in the village square, or we could C, loot what you can in the chaos. I'm all about taking down rats. Who likes rats? Not me. So let's go ahead and do a combat. 29, 30, and 31. Level 11 isn't too bad. I have my 3 enemy cards here. I'm going to shuffle them up and then lay them out next to each other in a row. Here we have our 3 rats that we're trying to take on. Lots of things to see on these actual enemy tiles. The first thing is you can see their health. If ever we can cover up all their health spots on their card, they're destroyed. Here it tells us how much we need in accuracy in order to hit them. So you can see we need a 6 for these 2 and only a 5 for this one. They also have specific abilities. So this one says adjacent regen 1 and adjacent regen 1. What that means is if we do not take care of this rat at the end of the round when they all activate, he's going to actually have these 2 guys regenerate 1 of their spaces. Ugh! So either I need to focus on him or take out the 2 guys on either side. You'll also see over here we have a weakness symbol. That means if we don't cover that up or defeat this enemy and by the end of the round, he is going to weaken one of our characters. Same thing with poison over here. Up here it tells us how much they attack us with. If you attack an enemy and you don't defeat it, it's going to counterattack. It'll counterattack for that base 2 plus any of the other damage that you see on the card. So for this guy, it would be 2 plus 2 for 4. But if we cover this up with damage, let's say we covered up that tail, then he'd only hit us for 2 damage. So whenever we attack, we have to determine which one we're going to attack, and then if we succeed, where we're going to place the damage on it, either to kill it or maybe to reduce its effectiveness in combat. What we get to do is grab these 4 combat tokens. We're going to place them on our specific characters that we're going to use for combat. You can never use a character more than twice in one combat round. After we use those 4, then these 3 are the ones that are remaining will attack us back. What do you say we start off with Captain Odessa? So Captain Odessa only has 5 health. She has a rifle. She will attack with 4 damage if she succeeds. Her total accuracy is a +1. We have to decide which enemy we're going to try and take on. Let's try and take on the easiest one first, shall we? So we only need a 5. So right now, she has a +1. We need a 4 or higher to actually hit that Zarg Rat Brawler. Now, even if we fail, he'll attack us back first, and then we get to deal 1 point of damage to him. So you're always going to deal at least 1 point of damage. She also has the ability of using 2 command tokens to add +1 to her accuracy, and that can be done after we flip for our fate. So I'm thinking, let's start by flipping our fate and see what we get. We need a 4, 5, or 6 to have this be successful. And we flipped a 2. Well, that's pretty terrible. Well, there's nothing like starting off strong, right? Oh, that was pretty terrible. I think I'm going to use one of my 3 remaining command to activate my gear. This means we get to redraw our fate. However, now that we've used that card, we cannot use that card again until we remove the command token that's on it. Okay, we need a 4, 5, or 6. Come on. Oh, there's a 6. Beautiful. So we just dealt 4 points of damage to that Rat Brawler. Whenever you deal damage to an enemy, you have to do the damage orthogonally, unless she would actually give her synergy token, which we'll talk about in a second. This one lets you actually do damage diagonally, which is nice. So what I'm going to do, because we're dealing 4 points of damage, I'm going to go 2 here, and then I'm going to go 3 here, and then I'm going to do number 4 on this one, the head. So what that means is, since we've covered up the spot that has that synergy token, we can give our synergy token to another player, any one of our characters, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Kasumi. Kasumi has a +2 with her accuracy, so I'm hoping, and she deals 3 damage with her Wakizashi, so I'm really hoping she can deal some damage. Now, we did not defeat this rat brawler, so because of that, he will retaliate against Captain Odessa. He's going to deal a total of 2 damage, but we blocked his arm. We damaged his arm, so he's not going to deal us +1. If you look here, her rifle gives her 1 block. So what that means is we only take 1 point of damage. So we have 1 damage, we have 4 health remaining. And you know what I'm thinking? We're going to activate Captain Odessa a second time. Once again, attacking the same guy, hoping to kill him and maybe even do some splash damage. We're hoping for a 4, 5, or 6 again. We flipped a 4. 4 plus the 1 is 5 damage. Or 5 accuracy. That accuracy gets up to where his armor is, so now we're going to deal the 4 damage. With that 4 damage, we're going to deal 1 here, then we'll deal 1 here, and then we're going to splash 2 damage over to the Zarg Rat Alchemist. Now you can only splash over half of the damage, the amount of half. I couldn't, let's say, deal 1 damage here and then deal 3 over on him. I have to do at least half to the one that I'm attacking, but I can splash it over to an adjacent enemy, no problem. So I just dealt 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. This Zarg Rat Brawler is toast, so I'm going to remove him. He will not counterattack against Odessa, which is great. I will discard him, and we've already dealt 1 heart damage to this Rat Alchemist. Next, let's have Kasumi attack. She is going to attack the Rat Stabber. Our plan is hopefully we can take him out. We need a 6. We already have a +2 for accuracy, so we only need a 4 or higher from the Fate deck. We'll flip over our card, and we have a 6. Beautiful. 6 plus 2 is 8. That's greater than the 6, or I should say greater than or equal to the 6. So let's deal 3 damage. We'll go ahead and spend 1 damage to cover the arm and 2 damage to cover the body. We're doing that because now he's going to counterattack, and Kasumi has no block. So that means she's going to take the full blow of his attack. Well, his attack is only 2 because we took out his arm. So we will have Kasumi take 2 damage, and we're going to go ahead and have her attack a second time. If she can deal 3 damage here, we can use Odessa's the attack diagonally synergy token, and she can go 1, 2, 3 and take out that Zarg Rat Stabber. Come on, Kasumi, you only need a 4, 5, or 6. Well, flip and we get a 1. Well, that's absolutely terrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use her special ability here. If ever you draw a fate of 1, you can use this to flip and draw a new fate. So let's see what we get. We get a 5. 5 plus the 2 is 7. Beautiful. 7 is greater than or equal to this guy's armor, so we are going to use this synergy token so we can do damage diagonally, and we'll go 1, and then we'll diagonally go 2, and then we'll do the third one here. This guy has no health left. He will not counterattack. He is gone. Unfortunately, though, we have now done all 4 of our combat actions, so this guy here will go ahead and attack us. He's going to attack for a total of 2, plus 2 is 4. He'd regen his friends, but we took out both of his friends. So that's not happening. But he is going to deal 4 damage, and we have to pick one character to take all 4. I think the one we're going to choose is Gregory. He can soak it. He'll take 4 damage. He's got 2 health remaining. I did almost forget, Kasumi did cover up this arm spot, and you see that has that synergy token? That's amazing. She can give her +1 damage synergy token to someone. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Raphael. We've completed our first round of combat. I've gone ahead and grabbed all 4 of our combat tokens. I am now going to start the next round. First thing I'm going to do is activate Raphael. He will deal +1 damage. He has accuracy of 3 with that hammer, so he only needs a 3 to hit this guy, and if he does, he can discard that synergy token for +1 damage, so he can deal 3 damage with this attack. He only needs a 3 or better to hit, and he gets a 6. Yeah, he's going to blow him out of the water. Normally, that hammer only deals 2 points of damage, but with that +1, it'll actually be 3, And I think I'm going to go for the throat here. I'm going to go head, head, and head. The only bad thing about this, with that 3 points of damage, is we're going to get hit for 4, and that's on Raphael, and he has no armor, or no block, I should say, but he does have 7 health, so he'll soak the 4 hits, no problem, but that means if he can do one more attack, he can just take him out with that body shot. And as much as Raphael would love to take out this rat alchemist who just hit him right across the face, I am going to have Mac actually do this final test because she has +4 for her accuracy. She only needs a 2 or better. Let's see, she gets a 3. Beautiful. 4 plus 3 is 7. That's equal to or greater than the 6. She'll deal 2 damage. Technically, there's a synergy symbol there, but we will not pass synergy tokens. We'll actually put all the synergy tokens back because combat is ended. You don't get to carry those over between combats. Since we just annihilated all those rats, let's turn to 61.3. The remaining rat creatures flee to the forest. A wearied man in a blood-stained toga seeks you out. You arrived just in time, but I wish you'd sent someone to put out the burning houses. At least some of them still stand. You did your best, though, I'm sure. Well, apparently we should have done that. Gain 2 coins, 1 grain, and 1 XP. Complete quest 1. Note, Last Hope is now liberated. In future actions, you may explore location 63 to visit the village and talk to the townspeople. Let's return to the ship. There's a spot here to report all of our experience, so we have 1, hopefully many more to go. We've also gained our 2 coins and a grain. Beautiful. So that's going to end our first turn. Let's go ahead and move to our next ship action. We're not able to go to the cargo bay again since we're already there, so I think this time let's go to the quarters. The quarters, since we're playing 1 player, we're going to grab 3 command tokens. We already have 1, so we'll grab 3. That makes us a total of 4 command that we have. And then we can remove up to 2 command tokens that are on the board. So I have 1 on that gear card that I'm going to remove, and I have 1 on Consumi that I'm also going to remove. I think those are the only 2 that we've used so far. We also get to draw 1 ability card, and we get the cleaning instant effect. Oh, nice. So if anyone does get low morale, I can just pop that on someone, and it's a 1. Beautiful. I got that out of the deck. Awesome. I'll put that in my hand. I have a total of 3 ability cards now in my hand. We'll now move to our event card. Let's flip it over. We have a sunken ship. In the glittering turquoise shallows, you spot the skeletal remains of a ship. Sleek sharks circle the depths. We can search it. We have to do a Perception 5 test. If we fail, -2 health, we'll gain a coin. -2 health, we can have someone take 2 damage. So I think I'm just going to draw Fate for that. 5 or higher. Let's see how we do. We have a 3, so we failed. I could discard a card in my hand that has the strength symbol to add 1 to it, but that's still not enough. So I'm going to have someone take 2 points of damage. Let's go ahead and have Raphael take 2 points of damage. So he'll go from 4 to 6. That way I can just go to a port and spend a coin to heal him. And of course I said strength. I meant perception. Sorry, I have a perception ability card in my hand I could have used. We still will gain the 1 coin, best part about the game, so I do have 3 coins. We now get to do 2 actions, and since we cleaned out all the rats here, let's go ahead and just check out number 63. The edge of the village rests well within the tall trees of the forest. The towering pines might have given a sense of protection if not for the recent rat creature attack. We can A. Explore the edge of the forest, B. Eat at the fish house, pay 1 coin, C. Visit Mikra's temple, or D. Leave the ship. I think let's go ahead, pay 1 food, we have food. Let's go ahead and visit Mikra's temple first. I'll pay 1 vegetable for that. A woman with long braided hair teaches you how to make a tea offering using honey and flower petals. This will help you enter an ancient shrine to Vallard on the island to the west, she says, though few return from that place. That definitely means we should check that out. Gain quest card 16. That is shrine here. At a temple in Last Hope, we learned how to make an offering that will open a nearby shrine in the red rocks to the west. Ooh. Now we'll turn back to 63. We can now either explore at the edge of the forest or eat at the fish house. I think I'm going to eat at the fish house next. That's pay 1 coin. We have 3 coins. We'll go down to 2. You must try this gumbo, says the cook with a grin. It's my own recipe. I'll share it with you, though, if it's not too spicy for you. Restore 2 health. Beautiful. Kasumi is going to restore the 2 health. We could restore 2 health from anyone that we wanted, but that way Kasumi is fully healed. And we'll gain Adventure Card 1, Spicy Gumbo. Then go back to 63. Spicy Gumbo needs 1 command to activate, and we need to have 1 meat, 1 vegetable, and 1 grain, and we can remove 3 fatigue and restore 3 health. What do you guys think about exploring the edge of the forest? I like it. Let's go to 63.2. We don't have keyword abysmal or maneuver, so we're going to keep reading. You find a hut in the middle of the forest. A withered man greets you. Hello, I'm Ulim, he says with a weary smile. You're those sailors from the raids. Thank you for what you did. Those demon rats have lived in the forest for years, but when they openly attacked our village, we were not prepared to defend ourselves. But I have another problem. My son went looking for pearls weeks ago and hasn't returned. I know where he went. A huge cave in a rocky island just south of the peninsula. A dangerous place where demons dwell. My son is greedy and I could not stop him. I fear he's already dead. Please, I feel you're the only chance he has now. Gain quest card 4. We have Rescue Ulim's son. We met a man named Ulim in Last Hope. His son has gone searching for pearls in a cave south of the peninsula. Nice. Oh, that's abysmal. Cool. Well, I don't know about you, but south of the peninsula, it looks like it could be here, 54. That looks like a cave. I'm kind of interested in checking that out. I like helping saving people, right? We could also try and go and find that shrine, but I think that can wait a couple rounds. Let's go ahead and see if we can get 1 travel movement, which we should be able to. I'm not going to use anyone for this test. We're just simply going to try and travel here. We're guaranteed to get 1 movement. Hopefully this is a 1. Oh, I just wasted a 5. Oh well. A 5 does mean we can move 2 spaces, but I still think I'm just going to move 1 to here, and we'll check out 54 next turn. Let's go ahead and move back to the ship. Before we do that, I am going to spend 2 command. I'll put that back into the bank because I am going to put out this cleaning. Although I don't get the effect because it's only instant and no one has low morale, we now have Audrey having a total of 3 craft. She is our craft queen. She, as you can see, she's all about the engine, so she will help us travel when we need. For our ship action this time, let's go ahead and move to the sick bay. That's going to mean that we can heal 1 point of damage on Captain Odessa. Captain Odessa only had 1 damage, so now we only have 2 characters that have damage on them. We're going to draw another ability card, and this one is Maintain. Instant effect, repair 1 ship damage. Oh, that's a great card. And we're going to gain 3 more command. I have 2 in my supply, so it's a total of 5. I'm telling you, comparing this to playing with 2-player, I have so much command. With 2-player, I never felt like I had enough command. Let's flip our next event card, and we have Merchant Vessel. A well-provisioned ship approaches. Convince them you need help. Cunning 6, we could gain a grain, or buy food, pay 1 coin to gain 2 grain, or just bid farewell. Yeah, you know, I really like grain. Let's go ahead. Well, we can try. No, I want 2 grain. So we're going to spend 1 coin, and we're going to gain 2 grain. That means we now have 3 grain, which means we can use our flapjacks if we want. However, we only have 1 coin and 1 vegetable left. Wouldn't you say that this looks like a cave? Yeah, I think I'm going to check it out. So let's read 54. The sea rages in the island's rocky jaws. Boulders scatter the approach like gravestones. Brave the rough seas in the rowboat. Turn to 161.5. Navigate the manticore closer to the cavern. Savvy 6. If we fail, we take 2 ship damage. Ooh, which one do I want to do? I think I'm going to use both Kasumi and Kanan here to add 2 savvy for this test. So that's the savvy symbol. So now we only need a 4 or higher to succeed. Let's go ahead and draw the top card, 4 or higher. We've got a 5. Beautiful. So we succeeded. Rogue waves throw the manticore towards the rock, but you guide it through the rolling seas to a calmer cove where the crew lowers the rowboat. Turn to 161.1. The ocean roar gives way to the echo of dripping water. A giant door carved into the cavern rock opens and a creature emerges. You cannot see his face, but 2 eyes glow above the robe, the color of blood in water. His dark face flickers like a candle made of shadow.
So many visitors this month,
he says in a deep, hollow voice. We're looking for a young man, you say. The creature chuckles, his face flashing with malice.
Yes, he was taking my pearls, but he makes good conversation, and I'd bore without him. All the other souls here have lost my interest. Would you like to come and see him?
Inside the doors, Ulim's son sits chained to the floor amid a pile of bones, his eyes pleading, face sunken and pale.
He seems well, don't you think?
The creature's face twists into a cruel smile.
Why not leave him here? I could make a fair trade.
We can either just jump right into combat. That's a level 16, holy moly. That last one was a level 11, and I have two guys that are pretty much exhausted. Attempt to negotiate the release of the prisoner. That's 161.3, or accept his offer. Yeah. You know, this guy, he was a little bit greedy, but I can't leave his dad like that. So I think let's start trying to be negotiable. Let's go to 161.3. The shadow creature pauses.
What do you have in mind?
We can either A, why starve your intellect with just one soul, you say? In the city you could find many more. This is a savvy 7. Gain 1 low morale and turn to 161 if we fail. If we succeed, we turn to 161.7. Or we can bring someone else to talk to you. You lie. That's a cunning 8. If we fail, we gain 1 frightened and we turn to 161. Otherwise, we turn to 161.8. Well, I feel like Savvy 7 is more likely to happen than Cunning 8. 7 versus 8. So let's go ahead and try and do Savvy 7. We'll use Laurent for 1, Captain Odessa for 2, Gregory for 3. That means we only need a 4. I think I need to do more than that. We'll do Mac for 4, so that means we're sending Mac, Captain, Laurent, and Gregory. So that means we already have 4 Savvy. We just need 3 more from our Fate Flip. Come on, 3 or higher. 3 or higher. Oh, that's a 1. Well, you know what we're going to do with a 1? We're going to use Kasumi. Please redraw that. We'll use 1 command token to do that. Come on. Oh, that's a 1. That's absolutely terrible. Let's go ahead and use our gear here. We'll use a command token to redraw again. A 3 or higher. Come on. There's a 3. 3 plus the 4 is a Savvy 7.
Excellent. Then I will visit a city. I've lived here for far too long,
says the shadowed creature. Oh god, is that a good thing? Chains broken, Ulan's son hobbles to his boat, tied near the back of the cave. Was he ever planning to leave, you ask? Not with this, that's certain. He smiles and hands you a stone that flickers with a dark fire. For my freedom, he bows and sets off into the sea. We have gained 2 coins, 2 XP, and adventure card 48. We found a totem already! The Stone of Fitness. Definitely didn't have that one before. Complete Quest 4. Well, thank you for that. And gain Quest 7 and 103. Oh, I love this game so much. Okay, so we've completed the Abysmal one. Let's go ahead and get all of our rewards. 2 XP and 2 coins. We have 1 in our supply already, so we now have 3 coins and we have 3 XP. Here is our first totem for this campaign, and it needs 3 command tokens. But look at this ability. Remove a combat token from a crew member and use it again. That is amazing. Oh, I love how the totems are also adventure cards that we can use. Okay, our 2 quest cards. We have Maneuver. We visited the shadow creature and found Ulam's son. And then we have Unleash. Shadow creature unleashed. Oh, that's great. We convinced a creature of the darkness to visit a nearby city. What have we done? Yeah, I was wondering about that. We'll probably pay for that later. Or maybe we'll just go to a whole new area and just let this area rot. I do think I'm also going to use our flapjacks here. I'm going to spend 3 grain, and that allows us to remove 3 fatigue. So we're going to remove 1 from Mac, 1 from Audrey, and 1 from Captain Odessa. So all of them are fully unfatigued because they only had 1 fatigue token on them. And I'm going to heal 3 out of the 6 damage on Raphael, so now he only has, 3 damage left. We have 1 more action for this turn, and I'm thinking, do you see these red rocks here? I feel like that might be the shrine, 186. So if we go there, that would cost us 2 total movement. I think, well, we need a 4 through a 6 to just get it outright, or do I use Audrey? Let's just draw. I always can, if I want, discard this to add 1 to our craft if we're close to just about getting 2 movement. Let's flip our card, and we have a 6. Beautiful. We can move 2, no problem. The Manticore will slide itself right through here a second time, and then next turn we'll check out 186. For now, let's go back to the ship. I'm only going to gain 2 command by doing this, but I still think I'm going to go to the bridge because that means we'll get Kasumi's ability back. We're going to get that gear to redraw fate, and we will get the flapjacks back available to us. I'm also going to gain 2 of those right now. I have 2 in my supply, so I have a total of 4 command. We're going to draw whatever you call it, an ability card. And we have Rapid Strike. Oh yeah, we know what that one is. I now have 4 in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and discard the level 6 Rapid Strike. Just in case we shuffle, I want that 6 in that deck as much as possible. Let's now see what event we're going to have. We have Rotting Leviathan. Oh, who wants to deal with that? Carrion birds and schools of sharks circle a huge unidentifiable creature floating on the sea ahead. Navigate away from it. We have to do a Savvy 6. If we fail, we gain 2 low morale. Ugh, Savvy? Really? I don't really want to use anyone, and I can use Captain Odessa just to get rid of low morale, so let's just flip. We got a 3. Yeah, so we're just going to take the low morale. I have to place them out on 2 of our characters that we're playing with. What they do, it's we have to pay 1 command to use them for a challenge. So I'll go ahead and put one on Captain Odessa because I'll immediately get rid of it for her. And then I'll go ahead and place one... let's place it on Mac. We'll then use Captain Odessa right now, use her ability, and remove this low morale. So we only have 1. Next time I clear her board, I can use her again. By doing this, though, we cannot now use these other abilities because you can only ever activate one of these 3 abilities 1 time until you remove this command token, and then you can use one of these abilities a 2nd time. For our first action this turn, let's explore 186. Spires of rock flame orange as the sun slides into the sea. Bewitched with curiosity, you follow a narrow stair to a solid oak door covered in carvings. At the center of the door is a face, his portly cheeks flush by the light of the sunset. As you approach, he speaks with an air of authority.
Go away, you are not welcome.
We can either A, open the door, and that requires our keyword shrine, which we have, or B, ask the face what it knows. Yeah, we definitely have the shrine. 186.4. You make some honey-flavored tea for the wooden face. As you pour the golden liquid into his mouth, he sighs, and the door swings open. Shafts of orange light float into the chamber, illuminating the dust in the air. There are 12 doorways in front of you, each carved about with 3 symbols. To your left is a narrow corridor, and beside it a cluster of clay pots.
A bit more honey next time,
the face calls after you. And it looks like, my friends, we have a puzzle. Look at this. A through L, all these different symbols. We've got tons of different options here. We can choose to go through all these different doors, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Or up top here, we have Examine the Chamber. That's a Perception 5. Or we could search the narrow corridor to the left. That's also a Perception 5. Or search through the clay pots nearby. That is also a Perception 5 test. No matter what, don't forget, we will be able to succeed at these. We just might have -3 health, -2 health, or -3 health. Yeah, which one do we want to do? Examine the chamber? Let's start with M. Let's examine the chamber. A Perception 5. I have 1 perception card in my hand, so I'm just going to draw for it. Let's flip our card, and we have a 4. Beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and discard this perception card in my hand to add +1 to that test. That's a perception of 5. Let's go ahead and check out 186.1. A stone tablet leans against the chamber wall. Under the dust is the image of a footprint. Turn to 186.4. So I think that means we need to pick one that has a footprint. Let's go ahead and search the narrow corridor to the left. This is also a Perception 5 test. I'm not going to spend anyone again. Let's see if we take 2 health as damage. We need a 5 or a 6, or how about a 2? That is not going to be great. Let's go ahead and deal 2 damage to Raphael. He already has 3, so 2 more puts him up to 5 damage out of his 7 health. In the corridor, a carving breaks from the wall, landing on your foot. You lift the stone to find an image of a diamond. I'll land it on her foot. So we've got footprint and we've got diamond. Of all these that I see a footprint and diamond on this one. I see just a footprint, no footprint, footprint and a diamond. Seriously, I was hoping that I think we have to check out the last one. Yeah, no, doesn't look like we have any other chance or choice. We're going to search through the clay pots nearby. This is a -3 health. Do I want to use anyone? It's a 5. 3 damage? I'll just have someone take the 3 damage. I'm trying to save people in case there's something else after this. So let's go ahead and just draw. And I generally like to not use people if you still succeed when you fail. There are ones, like the one that we just did against that demon, where if we failed, we went to a different passage. So that's where, oh, beautiful, that's a 6. No one takes 3 points of damage. But yeah, that's why these ones I generally tend to not use your crew. And that's something that you kind of learn as you play. Moving aside the pots, you uncover a tablet with a carving of a water drop. As you sweep sand from the stone, another picture emerges. A box with a star, a diamond, and a moon inside, and standing next to it, the image of a strong woman. Oh, so is this meaning that we actually should do that one? What, a diamond? Wait, a box with a star, a diamond, and a moon? Or are we looking for the water drop, the diamond, and the footprint? Well, I believe I have 2 options. I have the star, diamond, and moon here, that's the D, and that's where that woman, the picture of the woman was. Or I have the foot, the diamond, and the water droplet, that's F. D or F? I have no idea, D or F. The woman makes me think we should check out D first. So if we're going to do D, we look down here, D tells us to go turn to 194. Oh, I'm nervous. If Explore Token A turned to 194.2, definitely do not have Explore Token A. A stone box stands at the back of an empty room. The lid, covered in dust, shimmers in the light of the dying day. We need to attempt to open the heavy lid of the stone box, that's only a strength 6, or we can return to the entry chamber. No, let's open the box. Let's make that a test of 4 instead of 6. We'll use both of them for their 1 strength. And let's draw our card. We need a 4 or higher. That's a 3. Oh, that's not enough. But you know what? We can use Mac here. Now, the low morale, that's if we use it for a challenge. We're not. We're just going to use 2. Oh, man, this seems expensive. But we use 2 to add +1. That's a 4 then. Plus their 2 is 5, 6. No one takes damage. The box lid is massively heavy, but you manage to slide it off, and it drops to the floor with a crash. Inside is a pair of heavy brass bracers covered in strange symbols. You feel an intense sense of despair when you touch them. Oh, great. Gain 1 XP, Explore Token A, and Adventure Card 19. That's our 4th XP. And the gloves seem pretty cool, except for that with that +3 to our strength, we're also pushing down our morale. Now we have to turn back to 186.4, so that was not the way out. Let's see if we try that other door. Let's try and open the door F or go down that hallway. F will be, I think it's 198. Let's see. Yep, 198. The tunnel broadens into an arena, seats carved into rock around a ring of dust and dried blood. The floor rumbles and chunks of stone ceiling rain onto your startled crew as a creature erupts from the ground. Oh great, combat 36, 38. This is only a level 11 though. Well, this may only be a level 11 combat, but look at this guy. He has a 7 as his armor. That's going to be great. And I have a whopping 1 command token. Okay, I've grabbed my 4 combat tokens. Let's see who I want to have go first. I think starting with Captain Odessa again is not a bad choice. She only gets the +1, but we're going to go for the Hexic Demon. So all we need is a 4 or higher from the ability deck. Let's see if we can do it. We'll flip our card, and we have a 4. 4 + 1 is 5. That means we're dealing 4 points of beautiful damage. This Hexic Demon hits pretty hard, so what I'm thinking of doing is going 1, 2, and then splashing it over to this level 7 armor guy, 3, 4, because that way it'll be easier to take this guy out. He only will hit us for 2. This guy now will retaliate against us only for 3 damage instead of 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I mean, it stinks in one way because I'm putting out damage that's not even blocking any of his hearts. Oh, and I covered one of these. Awesome. So we can give our synergy token that I have over here to another character. I think I'm going to give that to Mac. Let's give that to Mac. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We have 4 damage here. We're going to take 3 back, but our rifle that we use has 1 block, so we'll just take 2 damage from that Hexic Demon. We're going to go for that Hexic Demon again using Kasumi this time. We're going to use her. She's at a +2, so we only need a 3 or higher. Let's go ahead and flip this. We've got a 2. What can we do? I guess we'll have to use our last command for a redraw. So we need a 3 or higher to be able to hit him. We have a 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So that means we get to deal 3 damage before he attacks us back. Oh, and I have just the idea. 3 damage, 2 and 1. And we just covered up our synergy symbol. So we're going to give our +1 damage here over to Mac. So Mac's going to have +1 damage. Of course, Kasumi's going to get attacked back for 3 damage, and she has no block, so she'll take 3 damage. We have 2 more command tokens. I'm actually going to use both on Mac, because Mac has a +4. Guess what? She's guaranteed to hit him because the ability cards go from 1 to 6, so we're guaranteed to get a 1 for our first success at least. And that's a 1! That's a great time for that. So that was a 5. We just dealt 2 points of damage. We'll discard this to be able to do 3 points of damage. 3 points of damage is just perfect. We'll take these 2 out. He's unfortunately going to hit Mac back for 3 damage, and she has 0 block with her saber. So she has 3 out of the 5 damage on her. Oh boy, I am damaging everyone here. And I really wish she could give her synergy token, but there are no synergy symbols here. But we're going to do the second attack. Remember, we're at a +4 for our accuracy, and we're going to add a 5 to that. That's definitely enough to do the regular 2 points of damage, and that takes out the Hexic Demon, and he will not attack us back because we defeated him with that attack. That does mean, though, at the end of combat, the Cinder Cave Guard is going to attack us for 2 straight damage. I think I'm going to have Greg take that attack. That'll put 2 more on him. He has 6. He's now been exhausted, but I wasn't going to attack with him anyways, so I'm trying to have the least amount of people have damage on them if possible. Okay, now we're going to grab our combat tokens back, and let's see. We have to hit a 7. I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage to this guy. Well, this is going to knock Mac out because she will take 2 retaliation of damage. She only has 5 health, but let's still use her because she only needs a 3 or higher for this attack. She gets a 4. 4 plus a 4 is an 8. She will deal 2 damage before she goes exhausted. Since I'm here, though, I'm going to put the 5 damage on her. We can no longer use her this combat because she's taken all the damage that she can. That 2 damage, though, will take out the Cinder Cave Guard's legs. Now let's go ahead and do Raphael. He also will go exhausted with this attack, but I don't know what else we're going to do. We're going to attack. He's got a 5. Beautiful. 5 plus the 3 is 8. He'll deal 2 damage, and then, of course, he'll take 2 damage back, and he's now at 7 damage, so he's also exhausted. Our crew is dropping like flies. I think that's down to 3 that are down, but all we need to do is 1 more point of damage. I need to get to a 7. Actually, I don't. I can let someone even miss this. He can attack back. We'll be able to do 1 point of damage and take him out. So who do I want to have do that? Well, Kasumi already has damage on her, so let's go ahead and choose her. She just needs a 5 or higher to actually hit first. Are you serious? We got a 5. Wow. 5 plus the 2 is a 7. That means we'll take out the Cinder Cave Guard. That actually means she takes no damage because we just defeated him. Heck yeah. I will say I was not expecting that to work, not at a 7. I was just assuming we were going to have to pot shot him after he hit somebody. The shadowy creature vanishes in a burst of darkness like an exploding ink bottle. At the far end of the arena, you find a broken tomb and within it, another totem. We gain 3 coins, 2 XP, and adventure card 45. Complete quest card 16. So we've just completed the shrine. We now have a total of 6 experience. We found our second totem already, the Stone of Blood. That's a new one for me. I haven't seen that one. And 3 more coins. We have 3 coins in our supply. That's a total of 6. I'd love to say we want to go to a market, but no. With half of our team totally exhausted, we are going to be looking for a port to do some healing. That was only our first action this turn. I think our second action, we're going to start moving towards a port. There's actually a port up this way. So I've already been to this one during our first campaign, the Zakira's trading post. So let's go this way because I never went to that one. We're going to go ahead and use Audrey for this. Audrey watched everyone in that combat and she goes, you know what, you guys, I'll get you to port. I'll get you to port. She's adding 3 to this travel test, and then we'll add 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. That was a pretty nice pull. We're going to be able to move 3 spaces. So we're going to move 1 here. That means now we have to test quick our strength of 5. Let's see what we get. We get a 5. Beautiful. And then you can see right here, this says 17. That's the page that we're going to go to from here. We're going to move off to page 17. And look at this art. I love it. I've never been to this page. Look, there's a tiny house up here. There's these awesome columns. I really want to check that out. But second move is here. Our third one, we're going to limp ourselves over to Lynn's Grove. Let's go ahead and end our turn now. Let's go and do our ship action. For our ship action this time, we'll move over to the sick bay. We're going to remove 1 damage on Odessa. So our Captain Odessa only has 1 damage on her. We're going to draw a new adventure card. Oh, this is just a basic 2. That's not a bad one to draw. I'm going to discard our defensive stance here. I want a 5 back into that deck. I had to do that because I had 3 in my hand already. I'm going to go ahead and gain 3 command. I have none, so now I have 3, thank goodness. And then let's go ahead and see what event we're going to have. We have a sunken ship. We seem to find all these ships everywhere. We found an airship. This says, in the glittering turquoise shallows, you spot the skeletal remains of a ship. Sleek sharks circle the depths. Search it. Perception 5. Fail it, have -2 health. Gain 1 coin. I don't think I'm going to spend anyone on that. I can have somebody take 2 health. I have no perception to use. We're going to flip. That's a 2. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have Kasumi take the 2 points of damage. That's going to exhaust her, but that's totally fine because we're going to go into a port now and heal up like nobody's business. So she has the full 5 points of damage on her. Now let's go to port. We can do as many of these actions as we're able. The first thing we gain is 1 of these grain. We get that for free because we stopped at a port. Next, we can spend, we have a healer, pay 1 coin per crew to restore all of their health. Well, I'm going to do that with 4 of my characters, all who are totally exhausted. They won't be any more. Mac will fully heal. We'll have Kasumi fully heal. We'll have Raphael fully heal. And we'll have Gregory fully heal. That way, only Captain Odessa is the one that has damage, and she only has 1. Then I have 6 XP, and so I could buy some level cards if I would like. If you're also watching Baird's playthrough, I bet you anything he's going to pull out these 3 as some of his favorite level ups. There are tons for each character, between 3 and 4 of them. Up here tells you the cost. But I have a hard time not doing the plan ahead. Gain 2 command at the start of a combat. Just think if I had 3 command instead of 1, we would have had a lot more options that we could have done for that combat, and combat happens all the time. This is great for our movement, but I don't think we need that yet. And then this one, we can just, whenever we go to the bridge, we'll gain an additional command. So that basically makes that spot even better. So I think this time, though, since we have exactly 6 experience, let's use all 6. The captain will have this plan ahead. That means she has +1 cunning for the rest of the campaign, and she has this ability. That was our first action for this turn. Our second action, we could check out 201, 120, or even 165, or up here, 149. Now, this looks like cliffs. If I go there, I'm probably going to run into the cliff. That's at least how I've seen these before. I feel like 201 or 120. I don't know which one. I'm going to check out 201 first, I think. If keyword reminiscence turned to 201.4, I don't have that keyword. I'll write that down on the map so I don't forget. I think someone I know lives around here, says Mac. She leads you to a small cottage outside of Lynn's Grove. Rushing ahead, she knocks loudly on the door. Carolina, ya salty dog, are you in there or not? Open up. A woman opens the door. She's tall and muscular with short hair and a gold earring. Mara Johnson, as I live and breathe, you'd better come in. We can either go inside with Mac or wait outside and raid the cottage garden. No, let's go inside. 201.1. This is Carolina. We traveled together for a while, explains Mac as you enter the cottage. The rooms are sparse with minimal furniture. The walls are empty of any decoration. I'm moving soon, so most everything's packed. But come on and sit down. Carolina leads you to the kitchen where you all sit around a long wooden table. I can see it's been a few years, she says, nodding at the gray in Mac's hair. Max laughs. And how long since you gave up piracy and settled down? Carolina turns to the crew. She loves to bring that up, but I was only a pirate for a few months. Turns out I make a much better lumberjack. Mac and Carolina exchange old stories, but soon the whole crew joins in on a lively conversation. When you finally get up to leave, Carolina asks a favor. It would be a great help to me if you'd take some old supplies off my hands and give me less to carry. Consider it a thank you for letting me catch up with an old friend. Well, this is pretty gosh darn nice. Gain 2 grain, 1 materials, and 2 vegetables. Remove all low morale, which, by the way, Mac was the only one with the low morale. That is hilarious, totally thematic, and not even on purpose. That's why I love this game. Then we have gain quest card 51 and return to the ship. That's a heck of a lot of good materials right there. Plus, quest card 51, we have Reminiscence. We visited the old house of a woman Mac used to travel with. Okay, cool. I think we're going to do one more round for this video, and then we're going to call it. Our plan is to do a total of 9 videos. So that'll be 6 event cards per video, and we'll try and stay together at the same time of videos coming out between Bairnt and I. So that way, if you're watching them together, you can watch his and then ours, and then compare the two based on where we are. Kind of a fun way of doing this. I think I'm definitely going to go to the bridge this time. I'm only going to gain 2 command, but I'm going to refresh all of my items. And I think I've got 1 on Captain Odessa, 2 on Mac. Yeah, I'm going to get all of those back. And I now have 5 command in supply. I'm also going to draw an ability card as well. We'll grab this one, and we have Engaged. Gain 1 command when you explore. Oh my gosh, this is one of the best ones ever. I'm immediately paying for that. Right now, I'm going to spend 2. I'm going to put that... Yeah, I'm going to put that onto Raphael right now. Let's see what our event is this time. We have Choppy Seas. White waves crash against the hull. When you travel this turn, -2 fate. Well, hopefully we won't do a lot of traveling then. I think the first thing we're going to do is check out Lynn's Grove. Let's go to 120. And since we're exploring, we'll gain 1 command. Gosh darn, that's an amazing skill card. The banks are piled high with massive pine logs waiting to be loaded into ships. A group of low wooden buildings clings to the shore, all built from the same pine wood. The forest looms almost threateningly just beyond the buildings. Muscular men and women bustle around on various errands. Almost every one of them carries an axe. Oh, I like this place. We can either A, explore the woods, B, visit the local museum, C, purchase materials, pay 1 coin per 1 material, I don't need to do that, or return to the ship. Let's start by exploring the woods, 120.1. The forest is denser than you'd expect it to be, given the massive logging operations going on. The people of Lynn's Grove, with all their axes, have barely made a dent in the trees. It's a tough hike, and you eventually stop to take a break. While you're resting, you hear Gregory call out. "It looks like someone's missing their property," he says. He discovered a wooden trunk. A small card written in a language you don't understand is attached to the handle with a string. "Let me see," says Mac. It says, "If found, please return to S. Zassi, a small rocky island near Lynn's Grove." Gain quest card 65. So quest card 65 is trunk. We found a wooden trunk with instructions to return it to its owner, someone named S. Zassi. Sounds like we have another quest on our hands. I love it. Let's now check out the museum 120.2. The museum's tour guide, an old man with copper skin and a cheerful disposition, introduces himself as Garland. "This region has a rich history," he tells you as he guides you through the small museum. "Once the gods lived here before they went to sleep. After that, the Pan Empire had a stronghold here until their civilization was destroyed too. Lynn's Grove is a fairly recent settlement. I already had wrinkles by the time it was built." The man glances both ways and gestures for you to come closer. Everything here is new. Not even the trees themselves are as ancient as they appear. If you want to know more, you should sail by the Pillar of Kemeter and see what you see. Oh, that sounds awesome. We can now either A, purchase something from the gift shop, pay a coin, go to 120.3, show Garland the inscription, we don't have sapling, bummer, or return to town. Now let's go ahead and pay the coin. The gift shop is full of various items made of pine, roughly carved figurines of forest mammals and wooden signs with sayings carved on them such as Lynn's Grove, only the gods have time to sleep around here, or Lynn's Grove, would you like to stay? Ha ha ha, those are funny. There are also several piles of plain pine planks for sale. "We could always use more materials," says Audrey with a shrug. We gain more materials. Okay, so maybe that was kind of a waste. I was hoping maybe he'd give us something. The material we can just use to fix our ship. Well, the Pillar of Kemeter sounds really cool. It makes me think of maybe one of these. And then we need to return that trunk to a rocky island that's near Lynn's Grove. We've got a rocky island here, but I'm thinking this one because there's an actual house here. Let me zoom up. Wouldn't you think someone would actually live there? So I think that's where I'm going to go next. If I'm wrong, I'll have to backtrack a little, but I'll deal with it. So I have one more action before we're done with this video, and that's going to be to travel. Let's go ahead and flip a card. I'm not going to use anyone. We only have a 3. Bummer. I think that means we can only move 1. You know what? Because of that, I'm actually going to discard this, and this will put us at 4 because it's a craft test. With a movement of 2, we can move 1 here and sneak in to here. That way, starting our next video, we can check out 137. I really hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Do let me know in the comments, A, if I've missed any rules, because you know, I've played this an entire campaign and I may have read something wrong and been playing it wrong the whole time. Or B, if you have any suggestions, or if you say, hey, Colin, don't forget you missed this thing or this quest, or did you check out this thing? I'd love any of those comments to help this be as successful as possible. And you know I need to beat Bairnt in the amount of totems I found. So I'm at 2 right now. You can let me know in the comments how many he has at the end of his first video. I got to make sure that I have at least the same amount, if not more. All right, thank you so much. I will catch you at our next video that'll come out next week. See you at the next stop.